Welcome to the review of Horde number 29 of Mythoard. We've got quite a bit to work with in this one, so we'll dive right in. I can't reiterate enough how much I like the new format here. You get a color printout. This piece of paper is something you can get rid of easily, but it gives you enough information to do an index. Certainly makes it easier for reviewers like myself. But at a glance, you sort of know what you got. So I appreciate the change, which used to be on a piece of cardboard index card, which is not necessary anymore. And also, there's more room to talk about everything. So you get quite a few PDFs. I don't review PDFs in these just because I can't easily. But I do want to show the print stuff. And we'll start with, there's a Dungeoneer, number 73, Shadow, Sword, and Spell from Rogue Games, Murders and Acquisitions by Nerdburger, which is PDF. We'll talk about that. Knights of the Dinner Table, issue number 116, Ninja Hack School, the Dark Spider Lair one-pager, 2 dungeon hex tiles, which you may recall from the last issue, Magic Eye Ra Talisman Relic, which will be familiar, and then some other interesting marble polyhedral dice, an adventure card, a D30 triantecohedron die, which I can't even say, velvet dice bag, and an experimental poison token for Mythoard, and a cursed gemstone counter. So this is it's considered a double crate, and it has a lot of bonus accessories. I think the accessories are probably the best part of this, so I think this is a good change for the better. But let's find out exactly what's different. So Dungeoneer. So I have a funny history with the Dungeoneer magazine. This is the best of issues 1 through 6, and obviously this is sort of a throwback to, again, the probably the 80s, when a lot of this stuff was new. I can't really see a date on this, but it's definitely a throwback to old school gaming, probably around the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons era. Lots of cool rules, but I found this online a while ago and converted a lot of the monsters that were in the Monster Matrix, just because they're so lovably nuts that you can't help but enjoy some of what they do, like Fuzzies and Steelies, which are beholders with fur and weapons, a DNA monster, a tinfoil monster. You take your pick. There's just so many crazy things in here that are awesome. The Ondokoli and the Golkolduli, the Harvestman, which will give you nightmares forever, which is basically a hand with a face on it. Just fun stuff with crazy drawings too, like the Carnivorous Slither. So really fun stuff. There are lots of other things that were the Dungeoneer was known for, including this dungeon here, which is cool. The Garden of Merlin. So this actually has quite a few dungeons as well. So like Judges Guild, this is at the time when there was just a burst of creativity. Anybody could publish anything, which was awesome, and a really nice setup. So if you're looking for old school, this is actually jam-packed with good stuff. So this is Shadow, Sword, and Spell Magic. I'm just going to say this. I don't like to make these too negative. I am getting a little intolerant of these supplements that don't explain what they're for. And that's the case here. I don't know what game this is for. It seems like it's its own supplement. There's references to how this is sort of a supplement to another game system, but Mythoard really needs to put up front what these are for, because that's going to help me understand what I need if I want to use it or if I can't. I mean, theoretically, all old school content is compatible, and you can use it. This one has sort of a Lovecraftian feel to it, which is great, but I have no idea what rule system this is. It references the player and game master books. I don't know what that is. I don't know what system this is for. Maybe it's Sword and Wizardry. I don't know. It doesn't look like it. So I don't know what this is. It looks good. You probably need that set to actually make use of most of it, but clearly identifying what each one of these rule sets, these supplements are for, would be really helpful. Here's Knights of the Dinner Table. I'm not going to keep saying this because I'm kind of getting tired of saying it. Knights of the Dinner Table, you either love or hate, or love or don't care that much about. So if you like the comic, you'll like it. If you don't, you won't. Unfortunately, I think people probably don't read the magazine because they don't like Knights of the Dinner Table or like Hackmaster, and there's actually a lot of generic content in there. So there's actually other things you can leverage for sure and use. that probably goes overlooked because of its association with the Hackmaster slash Knights of the Dinner Table system. So it is worth taking a look at, but not everybody does. And by the way, near as I can tell, there is no anime or ninja hacking. I think somebody's dressed up as a ninja in some of it inside. So, you know, like so many comics, it's a little bit of a deception as to exactly what the nature of it is. The Dark Spider Lair. So this is that what would normally be an index card. This is straightforward, but I have to say, I'm actually excited about this. We have a lot of spiders in our Gamma World 5e D&D campaign. I think we can totally use this, which I love. And I think we need more of this. So a lot of these layers try to be really unique and crazy and different. And we don't really need unique, crazy, and different. I think we just need sort of layers for typical monsters. And this is something I can actually and will use. So that's the kind of thing I like to see. You know, like a goblin lair and ogre lair, those are things that we need because they come up. We don't need super creative, crazy ideas. And this one is about dark spiders, which are their own sort of special spiders. But at heart, it's a spider web lair. So I like it. I think I will actually use it. All right, now we're getting into some of the new stuff. So there are 2 dungeon hex tiles. I mentioned this earlier in the other Mythoard. These are double-sided, which is great. They only work as well as the number of hex tiles you have, but the idea is that you can create rooms with them. I think mentally it takes a little bit, if you're not used to hexes, to create something like this that's going to work well together. So it is something to think about when you do these hexes. The more Mythoards you have, the more useful it becomes. If this is your only Mythoard, these are not going to help you a whole lot. But I do like them, and I think the full set will make a difference as you collect them over time. Now this is funny. So this, let's see, we're on Magic Eye of Ra Talisman Relic. This is none other than the official Doctor Strange Eye of Agamotto, if I'm saying that correctly. And I dressed up as Doctor Strange and could not find this. And really had to work hard at it to find something similar, and ended up being, I think I made some kind of papercraft thing. This is excellent. So it's just hilarious because I have dressed up as Doctor Strange. So I will keep that prop for sure. It's pretty cool. We got a set of dice by Dwarven Crate. Marvel Polyhedral dice. I love these dice. These are nice, what I would call fire dice, but sort of demonic looking a little bit. So it's like evil fire is probably the way I would describe it with the yellow. So loving this dice. Going to keep that as a keeper for sure. Love full sets of dice. Velvet dice bag. Not that much to write home about. Comes with dice. So I'm going to put the dice in the dice bag. But great. I appreciate that the dice bag comes with it. There is an adventure card here. This one's called Wrath of Heaven. As I've said before, if you do dungeon hex crawls, these are great. If you don't, they're not great. And again, just like the hex tiles, this is only as useful as the number of Mythoards you have. So the more Mythoards you have, the more of a deck you have. If you don't have that many Mythoards, you don't have that much of a deck, and therefore it's not as useful. Then we have a D30 triantacohedron die, and I love this die. The only thing is that in, like, I think 2 Mythoards earlier, we got the exact same die, so this is a little bit of a repeat. I don't need that many 30 sides. 1 is good. So great to have it, but not as great to have more than 1. And I'm not sure why that was the case, but fine. Okay, so more 30 sides. If you did not participate in the last 2 Mythoards, then that would be helpful. There's something here called an experimental poison token. I don't know why it's experimental. It's from Mythoard. It's cute. It's a little poison token. It's not double-sided for some reason, but it is a green poison beaker. And I think the idea here is that you would put it next to a character. The problem with these kinds of tokens is that they never sit well on the board. So you're trying to sort of, you can't sit it upright, which is nice. But what you do with this kind of thing, I'm not sure. Maybe you use it as inventory. So if you have like an inventory kit, which we do that in our Gamma World game, where you actually, the items you have, we use little tokens and you put them in your bag. That's more representative. So good idea. I'm not sure that's going to sway anybody. And then there is a Cursed Gemstone counter by Cthulhu Crate. You can see this is a blue one. If you look at the picture here, it looks like there's a bunch of different ones. There's red, a purple, black. I'm not quite as thrilled about the blue, but I like the idea, and this is always cool to have gems. We love gemstones, and again, we use them for actual inventory and trade. So this is what Mythoard calls a double crate. And what they really mean by the double crate is these accessories. So not this stuff, but this dice, the poison counter, the gemstone, and that Doctor Strange. This is one of those situations where I think this crate particularly happens to be appealing to me more than others. So I think the Doctor Strange amulet is excellent. I don't know that everybody else would want that if you don't dress up as Doctor Strange. It's sort of a hit or miss. I think the Spider Lair card is great because we can use it for our campaign because we have spiders and we need spider lairs. I don't know that anyone else is going to use it as much. We use dice. I think everybody will use some of the dice. So some of this stuff is hit or miss. I go back to I don't know what this set is for, so I can't easily recommend or leverage it because I think you need other books, and then that's just one book in isolation unless it's made clear what it's compatible with. So message to my friends at Mythoard, every one of these documents, every one of these things in the future has to explain what system it's for. Before, in the past, these cards did not allow that kind of text because it was just too small. I think we have the space here just right next to it say what system it's for, and that will go a long way in helping Mythoard consumers and reviewers understand what they got in their package. I still think this is great. I think Mythoard doing what they call double crates and providing more accessories at the same price is the right thing to do. I think that's certainly the message we've heard from people is they want more of their accessories and less of the books. And in the world of PDFs, I think that's definitely the case. So I think this is a great direction for them. I think, as always, it can be improved, but they're on the right track, and I hope to see more from Mythoard in the future. Thanks for watching.